They told the limping nurse to stay back until 4 Marine helicopters landed demanding. Angel 6. Before the story begins, if you enjoy emotional, real-life inspired stories that stay with you long after the last word, please like, share, and subscribe. It truly helps the channel grow, and it tells me you want more stories like this. The first thing you hear is the thudding of rotors, low and distant, like a heartbeat you can't ignore. At first, everyone thinks it's thunder rolling in from the coast. Then the windows start to tremble. Patients lift their heads. Nurses freeze mid-step. And the woman with the limp, who has been told all morning to stay back, to sit down, to stop trying to help, slowly looks up. Her name is Elena Ward. She is 36 years old, exhausted to the bone, and walking with a pronounced limp because her knee never healed. Right after the accident, she works the night shift at a small coastal hospital that most people barely notice unless they're desperate. The kind of place where the paint peels, the budget is tight, and the staff survives on coffee and stubborn compassion. That morning, Elena isn't even supposed to be on duty. She came in to cover for a younger nurse whose child had a fever. "Just paperwork," the head nurse had said. "You can't run codes like you used to," Elena nodded. The way she always does, swallowing the familiar sting of being underestimated. The ER is already overflowing. A fishing boat explosion has sent burn victims and trauma cases flooding in. Alarms beep. Someone cries out in pain. Elena moves anyway, slowly, yes, but with purpose, checking IV lines, calming a panicked teenager, whispering steady words to an old man whose hands won't stop shaking. Then a military ambulance screeches to a halt outside. 2 men in civilian clothes rush in with a stretcher between them. On it lies a young Marine, unconscious, pale, his chest rising in shallow, uneven breaths. There's no uniform, no dog tags visible, just a blood-soaked shirt and a look of urgency that tightens the air in the room. "Who's in charge?" one of the men demands. The charge nurse steps forward, already overwhelmed. "We'll take him, but you need to—" "He needs Angel 6, the man says quietly, intensely. The room goes still. Elena feels something twist deep in her chest. A memory stirs, one she keeps locked away. A name, a call sign, a past life. She steps closer without thinking. "What did you say?" The men look at her, then at her limp, her scrubs, her tired face. Doubt flashes across their expressions. "Stay back, ma'am," one says. "This is military business." At that exact moment, the sound outside becomes unmistakable. Not thunder, not imagination. Helicopters, 4 of them. Marine Corps helicopters descend onto the open field behind the hospital, their rotors whipping the air into chaos. Dust and debris fly. Everyone in the ER runs to the windows. Phones come out. Someone whispers, "Oh my God!" Boots hit the ground. Uniformed Marines move with precision, surrounding the building. A colonel strides inside, eyes sharp, scanning faces. "We're here for Angel 6, he says. Silence crashes down like a wave. Elena's heart pounds so hard she thinks she might collapse. Slowly, she raises her hand. "That's me," she says. "Or it used to be." Every eye turns toward her. The colonel studies her for a long moment. Then he nods once firmly. "We've been looking for you." 20 years earlier, Elena Ward wasn't just a nurse. She was a combat medic in some of the worst zones imaginable. Angel 6 was her call sign, the last line between life and death for dozens of Marines who owed their survival to her steady hands and unbreakable will. Then the accident happened. A roadside blast. A knee shattered. A career ended overnight. Elena came home, broken in ways no surgery could fix. She traded the battlefield for quiet, hallways and learned, to live with being invisible, until today. The injured Marine is rushed into surgery. The doctors are good, but this injury is complex, rare. Internal bleeding, nerve damage, complications from a delayed extraction. Elena steps in calmly, authoritatively, guiding hands, calling out steps, seeing things others miss. No one questions her now. Hours pass like minutes. When it's over, the Marine is stable, alive. Outside, the sun is setting, painting the sky in bruised purples and golds. The colonel finds Elena sitting alone, exhaustion finally catching up with her. "You saved him," he says. She shakes her head. "We all did." He hesitates. "There are others. Training programs. Medics who need what you know. We could use you." Elena looks down at her knee, then back up. I can't run like I used to, she says. We don't need you to, he replies. We need your heart, your mind. She breathes in slowly. For the first time in years, the weight on her chest lifts just a little. And that's where the first part of the story pauses. Not at an ending, but at a door quietly opening. If this story touched you so far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because what happens next changes everything. The next morning, Elena wakes before dawn, the echo of rotor blades still humming in her ears. She expects regret, fear, doubt. Instead, she feels something unfamiliar. Clarity. Back at the hospital, the Marine she helped save is awake. His name is Tyler. He tries to sit up when he sees her, wincing. Don't, she says gently, placing a hand on his shoulder. You're not cleared for heroics yet. He smiles weakly. They told me Angel 6 was a myth. Elena smiles back, softer. I used to believe that too. Word spreads quickly, not just in the hospital, but beyond it. Old comrades reach out. Messages arrive, some grateful, some apologetic, some simply relieved to know she's still out there. Elena is invited to speak to young medics at a nearby base. She hesitates before saying yes. Standing in front of them, she sees her younger self, eager, scared, determined. She tells them the truth about fear, about failure, about how being sidelined doesn't mean being useless, how sometimes the limp you're ashamed of is proof you survived. Weeks later, Elena splits her time between the hospital and training medics. She still limps. She still gets tired, but she is no longer invisible. One evening, as the sun dips low, helicopters pass overhead, not landing this time, just moving on. Elena watches them go, hand resting on her aching knee, heart steady. She was told to stay back. But the world remembered who she was. And sometimes, the greatest rescue isn't saving a life, it's reclaiming your own. If this story inspired you, please like the video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe for more powerful stories. Your support keeps these stories alive and reminds us all that no one is ever truly left behind. The helicopters are gone, but their echo hasn't left Elena's life. 2 weeks after that day, the hospital feels different, quieter, almost too small. Elena moves through the corridors with the same limp, the same scrubs, yet people look at her differently now. With respect, with curiosity, with the unspoken question, why are you still here? That question follows her home one evening as she sits alone in her small apartment. The sea air slipping through an open window. On the table lies a simple folder the colonel left behind. No pressure, no deadline, just an invitation. Inside are photographs of young medics in training, notes about programs rebuilding after years of losses, and a handwritten line at the bottom. They don't need perfection. They need someone who won't quit on them. Elena closes the folder without deciding. She tells herself she's tired. She tells herself she's done enough. But sleep won't come. Every time she closes her eyes, she sees Tyler's face when he woke up. She hears the rotor blades again, not loud this time, but steady, like a reminder. The next morning, a code blue is called in the ER. A child this time, 8 years old, drowning victim. Panic ripples through the staff. Elena doesn't run, but she moves fast enough. Her voice cuts through the chaos, calm and grounded. She guides the team step by step until the child coughs, sputters, and finally breathes. When it's over, a young nurse leans against the wall, shaking. I would have frozen, she admits. I don't know how you didn't. Elena looks at her, really looks at her. You would have found a way, she says. You just haven't yet. That's when it hits her. This isn't about helicopters or call signs anymore. It's about passing something on before it fades. She opens the folder that night. Part 2 of Elena's life begins quietly. No ceremony, no uniform, just a rented classroom on base, a whiteboard, and a dozen medics who don't yet know how much they're about to change. Elena stands in front of them, feeling the old nerves rise. Her knee aches. Her hands tremble slightly. I'm not here to impress you, she says. I'm here to make sure you make it home, and that the people counting on you do too. They listen. Weeks turn into months. Elena teaches what textbooks can't. How to decide when there's no perfect answer. How to keep your hands steady when your heart is breaking. How to forgive yourself when you can't save everyone. One night, a trainee breaks down after a failed simulation. I'm not cut out for this, he says, eyes red. I froze. Elena sits beside him the same way she once sat beside dying soldiers in the dark. "So did I," she says. "More than once." Courage isn't never freezing. It's moving anyway. News comes from the hospital back home. They're short-staffed. Funding cuts. The head nurse is sick. Elena feels torn, pulled between two worlds that both need her. She goes back on weekends, trains medics during the week. It's exhausting, painful. Some days her knee swells so badly she can barely stand. A doctor warns her she's pushing too hard. Maybe she is. Then a message arrives late one night. A mission went wrong overseas. Multiple casualties. One of her trainees was there. He stabilized 3 men under fire. Saved them all. The message ends with a single line. "He said he remembered your voice telling him to breathe." Elena sits on the edge of her bed and cries, not from pain, but from something close to relief. Months later, Tyler visits the base. He walks without assistance now, strong, alive. He salutes Elena, then pulls her into a careful hug. "You don't know what you gave me," he says. She does know. She just never expected to get it back. The day Elena finally accepts the official role, lead field. Medical instructor, there are no helicopters. Just applause from a room full of people standing because of her. She doesn't make a speech. She just nods, humbled. That evening, she walks alone near the shoreline. The limp is still there. It probably always will be. But it no longer feels like a weakness. It feels like proof. She was told to stay back once. Now she knows better. Because sometimes the world doesn't need you to be whole. It just needs you to show up anyway. If this story moved you, please like the video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe for more powerful emotional stories. Your support keeps these stories alive and reminds us that even when we're told to stay back, we may be exactly who the world is waiting for.